You might be thinking, who even is this guy and why should I listen? Fair question. I'm an online fitness coach who has worked with hundreds of other people, and I'm not trying to sell you a magic program. I'm just a guy who wasted years trying every method, every split, every fitness trend, and stayed small for way too long. Until I finally stripped everything back and built a simple system that focuses on what actually matters: progression, recovery, and consistency. And once I dialed those in, the results came in fast. Here's what nobody tells you: most fitness advice online is built for guys on gear, period. They can train 6 to 7 days a week, hammer every muscle group 3 times, chase insane volume, and still grow. You have to face it. You can't. Not if you're natural. You don't have the same recovery. You don't have the same hormones. I learned that the hard way. I was doing bro splits, chasing the pump, hitting drop sets and supersets every session, but I looked average. My strength barely moved, and I was just spinning my wheels. It wasn't until I asked myself, why does a muscle actually grow? It's not just about feeling the muscle. It's about doing more over time, getting stronger. Simple overload. So I stopped training for the pump. I stopped doing 15 exercises per workout. I started chasing one thing: progression. Adding weight, adding reps, tracking numbers, recovering properly. That was the shift. Now, here's how I train. Day 1, heavy squat. I do squats, and then I have a detailed workout that supplements my workout. Day 2, I have light deadlift. This is also followed by other exercises that supplement the workout. Day 3, heavy deadlift, and then day 4 is light squat. I keep 2 days between my day 1 and day 2. So after day 1 and day 2, I rest for 2 days, and then it's day 3 and day 4, and then I rest 1 day, and then back to day 1 and day 2. Each day starts with one main lift. That's the anchor, also known as the compound movement. You cannot skip your compound movements. Then I follow it up with accessories that support that movement, and that builds the aesthetics: the arms, back, shoulders, etc. But it all revolves around progression on the big lifts. You'll never build a great natural physique without a strong base. So that's where the focus has to be. On my heavy days, I go in with a goal in mind. This can be a top set or work up to a triple, a double, and it's always geared by blocks. So I separate each block into weeks. So week 1, I'm going light. Week 2, kind of light. Week 3, heavy. And then week 4, near maximal effort, and maybe a max effort depending on how the previous weeks went. But I typically don't max out until I know that my body's ready. Then after the top set, then I drop the weight and I hit 2 to 3 back off sets for volume. But for squats, I typically do about 5 sets, and then deadlift around 4 back down sets for volume. This is where the real strength gains come in. Controlled reps, tight form, pushing close to failure, but smart. I never actually work to failure. I just push myself. That is the only way you grow, is by pushing yourself. Right now for my heavy squat day, I'm doing singles, and then I have back downs for sets of 4. For my heavy deadlift day, I work up to a top set, and then I hit a single, another single after that top set, and then I work sets of doubles, triples, or do sets of 4. For this block, I am doing sets of 2, as I'm trying to minimize fatigue as I'm building to heavy and heavy weights in the coming weeks. You can pick what works best for you. Just make sure that you stick with it. I typically stick with it for 8 weeks so I can build a good foundation before I switch it up, and then I'll stick with that for another 8 weeks. And then also make sure that you track everything, because if you do not track everything, then you have no idea if you're making progress or not. My light days aren't easy. They're just lighter in load and more focused on control and hypertrophy. For squats, I do either high bar or safety bar squats, depending on the block. For deadlifts, I typically do pause deadlifts or I'll do snatch grip deadlifts, also depending on the block. And the rep ranges, I might hit a top set for my light day as well, and then do back downs to really work on my top end strength. Or I can just hit the same reps throughout, maybe change the weight, maybe keep the same weight. It all depends on my programming and how I program that specific block and my goals in mind for that block. These sessions are perfect for dialing in form, getting more volume, and hitting muscles from different angles. I make sure that I train hard, but the goal here is quality movement, not max load. After my compound lift from each day, I move into my accessories. This is where I build the look. I hit things like Bulgarian split squats, leg curls, back extensions, weighted pull-ups, chest supported rows, lateral raise, dumbbell curls, tricep push downs, etc. I do 3 to 4 sets, 8 to 15 reps depending on the exercise. My rest is around 45 seconds to 90 seconds for each exercise depending on the intensity. This is where I chase the pump, get in volume, and build the shape of the physique. All of this without overtraining. People always ask, is 4 days enough? Yes, more than enough. If you're training hard and recovering right, that is. You don't need 20 sets per muscle group, you need effort. If you're pushing your sets close to failure, you don't need a ton of volume. And if you're natural, less is more. I used to think I wasn't doing enough, but the reality is most people are doing too much with too little intensity. This system works because it's focused. You're hitting the big lifts, which is the compound lifts. You're recovering, you're tracking progress, and you're not wasting time on fluff. And if you want to start today, here's what I do. You pick one squat and one deadlift variation to start. You train each heavy once per week and light once per week. Add 3 to 4 accessories that support your goals. Track everything, push yourself, and stay consistent. When I say heavy, I don't mean you should go maximal effort. Just something that would be about 60% and use that as a starting point. Look, I'm not saying this is the only way to train, but if you're natural and serious about results, this is the most efficient and effective way I've found. It's how I got strong, lean, and confident in my body, and I genuinely think it can work for you too. If you want me to drop full workouts, templates, or even turn this into a mini series, let me know in the comments. And if you got value from this, drop a like and subscribe so I know to keep going with it. Train smart, train hard, track everything, and don't complicate what should be simple. And if you guys are looking to work with me and learn my full system with how I've been able to build my strength and physique and how you can do the same yourself, make sure you check the link below and book a call with me. And also make sure you DM me on Instagram as well and stay on the lookout for future videos. Thank you.